Time to go inside the boardroom.
It probably is timeless. You know why? I respect anybody that was on the Warriors beat during those years.
And take a seat at the conference table.
Guru's great too.
Welcome to The Executive Show.
Nothing easy!
On 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by Yellow Sack. Try a dumpster bag for easy waste removal. Less mess, reduce stress. Budget friendly, clean freely. Call 833-3YELLOW or go to yellowsack.com.
All righty, let's get right to it. Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. How you doing, Zaza? What's going on?
Is this the first show for this year?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, look at Zaza.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
start the year right.
All right,
there you go.
All right. Well, you know Ron Adams, obviously, right?
One of my favorite people. Coach, but one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, one time a couple years ago, he was listening to our show, me and Daryl the Guru Johnson, and he basically said he and his wife both agree that we're crazy.
Wow.
The two of us. Remember when he said that?
Oh, Ron.
So I'm going to bring you in to our conversation. It's pretty simple. I'm looking at this team right now, and I can't win it, Goo. They can't win it. They don't have it. And he, of course, is relying on that championship pedigree and the Warriors' experience. How do you balance knowing that the Warriors are an experienced team and a championship team with the reality that right now, at least, you're not a championship team?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's very fair. I think that both sides is a really good argument, right? So for a coach and even for me, well, I don't want to predict anything. I don't want to say anything until the season's over. Because to me, the end is the most important thing, just like in a good movie, right? So, obviously we talked about so many times, it's a long season, ups and downs. And I understand probably this is the most, bumps on the road we had, throughout the years. But it seems like every year something is new, with an injury or multiple injuries or, lineup changes or, we have young guys, where the second unit is not as good. I mean, not as I don't want to say it's good, but, they're not playing at the level we want to, but they will, right? So there's a hope, so we're going to wait. So every single year there is something, guys, right? So for you, I think it's a fair point for you guys say what you guys have to say. We don't look good. We all know that we don't look good. But at the same time, from our standpoint, from coaching standpoint, the Warriors standpoint, management, and ownership, I just want to see the end. And then we can talk about it, right? So, meanwhile, before obviously, it's not like we're sitting in the offices and waiting for the end of the season, April, May, June to come. There's a constant, the work and brainstorming how we can help, how we can be better. And one of my favorite quotes I was reading actually a couple of days ago was Steve Kerr talked about it that, we're going to figure this thing out. I know it's not pretty. I know that's where we want to see ourselves to be, the position we are, but, we're going to figure it out. And that was one of my favorite. It's coming from a head coach. And, I still a lot of confidence in it and belief and trust in his staff and in the players. So, like I say, let's wait for the end of the season.
Yeah, Zaza, you said what I just told Steiny a few minutes ago about the movie. It's not done. You guys are defended champs. To me, that means something until somebody takes it. But you played a couple teams that, when I watched the game, forget the outcome, I said, man, the Warriors look a bit small. It was Orlando. They had some young active players, Atlanta and Detroit. Now, I know the two young fellas are out, Kuminga and Wiseman, but what you brought to the table was size. What if I asked you, Zaza, is size a problem for this team moving forward to go back-to-back?
That's a great comment because, Warriors, I think, was one of the first teams to start playing, small ball. And, it was pretty successful, right? Let's be honest, with Draymond on the 5. But at the same time, their age was different, right? But without size, I'm talking about general, right? So without having size and the players that make damage out there, or make the presence felt, right? And it's just so hard to win, especially when you look at it long term. I mean, the long season, right? There will be moments, of course, there will be games, there will be periods in the playoffs where you need to go small. And that's what we have seen, in my opinion, throughout the years, that the small ball, great success. But I don't think small ball going to be successful when you look at 82 games to play 80 games with a small ball lineup. I don't believe the small ball is going to be successful, when it comes to the playoff run, right? That you need to win 16 games in the playoffs to win the championship. So, that's why I'm going to keep having this conversation about how 2017-18 your Warriors was most balanced, and this is an amazing team where we had the superstars, we had athletic guys, we had smart guys, and we got size as well. And especially in the center position, you guys remember we were fine with this splitting the time, and me starting, and JaVale would come, and D West would finish it, second quarter. And then sometimes we had Draymond. We had a small lineup with a Draymond on 5, and second half was the same way. And you have so many looks, right? And it was beautiful to see. But I'm a huge believer of having true centers, the size and strength in the lineup.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. It is the executive show. Zaza, here's the thing that I struggle with when I think about you guys as a possible championship contender. When you guys won it, in those years you won it, you guys were, I know you shot the 3, but your guys' defense was phenomenal. You were one of the first teams that could switch 1 through 5 in a big way. You had Klay Thompson, maybe the best two-way defender at the time. Draymond, phenomenal defender. Iguodala played a lot. He was a great defender. Even when Durant came in and Wiggins, those guys were positive defenders. Last year, hate to do this, last year you had Porter and Payton second, both defensive-minded. Can this team even be a really good defensive team, considering that some guys are getting a little bit up there and the role players may not be as defensive-minded as some of your guys in the past?
That's very interesting, and I'm glad you're asking this question because I think because I was in that situation when I first signed with the Warriors, that I knew where I was coming. I knew that besides this championship team, I was not looking rings and trophy, right? I was looking for so what is it going to take for me to adjust to this team, right? So what should I bring on the table to experience that? And then literally every free agent, especially veteran free agents, they know what they are getting into, right? So they need to be, defending minded, and if they're not, they have to turn, and they have to be extra, paying attention to the details, that extra intelligence when playing the Warriors basketball. So I think all the players, the free agents, they know what to expect. Right. And when it comes to, the players that you mentioned, it's interesting. Like Dante, for example, is definitely that type of player. He's awesome, defensively.
True.
Minga, I think lately, and before he got hurt, he was having an amazing stretch, and unfortunately, he injured himself. Wiggins, obviously, we all know, and we experienced the championship with him, so we know that he's a two-way player, right? So the problem is we just could not get those guys consistent basis together, on the court. There's always something is missing. At the same time, we saw throughout the last couple of years that whenever one of those guys are out, Steph or Klay or, Draymond or Wiggins, this team is, so built to be collective, like everybody brings something on the table, and we need everyone. Unfortunately, because of the injuries, and honestly, guys, the 16 years I played, the January month is the worst month, for NBA, for any team. Because of fatigue, it's not like necessarily beginning. All-Star break is around the corner. You're thinking about it, even though we should not. Maybe we still job to do, and we've got to be professionals. But you know what? You are preparing for All-Star. I cannot wait to All-Star break to come because you're just tired. It's a lot of wear and tear. It's very hard to win. We mentioned it so many times. So it's the worst month, and obviously with this injury, it's definitely not helping us to have consistent practices and, going through the, defensive drills or, just add on and build on this, the run we have for a 5-game run we had, for example, or prior to that. So it's very unfortunate. It's very hard for the coaches as well. I mean, I know it sounds like excuse, but that's the reality. Combination of being in January, the guys already feeling tired, and not only us, but as the Warriors. I mean, if you look at around the league, I'm pretty sure 29 other teams have something to say about the month of January. But like I said, like Coach probably Ron Adams is feeling. I'm going to echo that. Like, we just, we're looking forward to every single day to be better, and we're looking forward to second half of the season, and we're looking forward to hopefully playoffs, and let's see how it's gonna look. But I'm gonna finish with saying that winning is hard. It takes a lot.
Zaza, let me ask you this, because every time we have you on, I always give you, because you're big, and I give you a Wiseman question, but I'm rooting for the kids. So is Dub Nation, and there were times where, it didn't look like it was working, but here recently, it looked like a light went on, and he was making contributions, and the opportunity for him to get out on the court, it was there, and then Zaza, I ain't got to tell you, he gets hurt. Like, how big of a setback is that for the big fella?
Well, I don't think it's as bad as, the previous one, so very optimistic and confident he's going to come back and without being out too long. So, yeah, I agree with you. He was, getting minutes. He had a good run in the G League with our G League team. And you could tell his confidence, and you could tell he was feeling it. And, so he had a good momentum going on. And unfortunately, injuries are part of the game. You cannot... You cannot be extra careful. I mean, just out there and tried to play. And honestly, last night in the halftime, I was talking with Joe Lake. I was saying, I wish James Wiseman was playing right now, because you feel you need some, young guy who comes and tears the rim, gives an amazing play, dunks or blocks the shots and runs in the fast break and catches it a little, because we needed some kind of momentum play yesterday during the game. But unfortunately, both him and Kuminga were out. But like I say, I mean, health is important, right? So we need him to be healthy. That way he focuses on his career and on the season.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. It is the Executive Show brought to you by Yellow Sack. And let me ask you about this game coming up against the Spurs. Looks like they're going to get over 60,000. You ever play in front of – what's the biggest crowd you ever played in front of?
Oh, gosh.
You weren't on Atlanta when they got 62,000, were you?
No, I'm not that old, guys. Come on now.
Raymond Ritter told me to ask you that, by the way.
But it's exciting. I mean, I'm kind of jealous, to be honest. I mean, I wish I was playing and experiencing this amazing moment. That, first, I give the Spurs organization credit for targeting this particular game where, the Warriors, one of the best teams of, the hottest teams of decade, right, to play against. And, I'm pretty confident they're going to fill out everything and sell every single fit. And that's great for NBA overall, and definitely happy for our guys, because, like I say, I don't care if you're Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, or the, youngest guys we have. I think there's going to be a hell of an experience to play in the kind of huge arena and in front of the 60,000 plus fans, the basketball fans. So it's going to be great.
Zaza, I need you to be honest with me, for real, because I'm a fan. I know you are, but I'm a fan, and I'm a big eye test guy. They give me the nerds, give me the numbers. I'm like, okay, but the eye test to me means a lot. Now, the Warriors are 20-21. That's not ideal. A lot of people questions, but there's two games I keep telling my partner. Memphis came in talking, and Christmas Day, they embarrassed them because the Warriors went to that place. Boston came in, Boston, and the Warriors went to that place. To me, that means something. So as a fan, am I crazy to think when it's really, really go time, the Warriors, defending champs, can go to that place and get that stuff, that antidote to be a problem?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big one as well. You cannot underestimate the championship experience that we've been talking about. It maybe it doesn't show the games like yesterday. Maybe it doesn't show games like against Orlando, right? But or even Detroit. But when it really, really matters, and not that these regular seasons don't matter, but even 2017 that we've been talking about how it was probably the best team ever, in history of NBA assembled. Even that year, if you guys remember, we had a moment, towards the end of the season, right? And there was a little frustration. There was questions. I said, wow, like really? Are we really going into the playoffs with this kind of mindset that we lost 2-3 in a row? Think about 2017 team where, the starting lineup was Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and myself, right? And then, off the bench we had amazing players, right? But yes, good teams and veteran teams, and we do have a lot of veteran players know what it takes to win. And there's you heard that turn the lights on and off like switch button.
Yeah.
I hate to use it, but it's realistic. Veteran players know how to turn it on and off, right? But yeah, no. So meanwhile, like we tried even yesterday, the fourth quarter. I mean, it took so much energy from our starting group and our veteran guys to come back and try to win a game. But again, it's not the best thing to do and put yourself in that situation. But playoffs is different mindset, guys. Total different mindset, and it's always exciting.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. I'm hearing Bob Myers is going to start doing a podcast with Peyton Manning, and quite frankly, Zaza, you're a better interview than him. So why does he get that and not you? What do you got on the horizon?
Well, I'm in the better hands, guys. I'm with you guys.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm fortunate to be surrounded with amazing people like you guys. So I definitely enjoy it. Honestly, best thing probably is we're gonna interact with the fans, and the most important thing is their feedback. So I got a lot of feedback, so I'm super grateful about it, and I'm enjoying what I do, and let's keep it going, okay? And we're gonna ask Bob actually his experience with his own podcast.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll tell you. Here's how our show goes. Daryl the Guru Johnson says, I saw Boston and Memphis, and you can dial it up. You have that in you. And I always say, yeah, but they don't have it enough. They don't have it enough. They can't do it for long enough stretches anymore. And it's just going to be fun to see whether you can or you can't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of the sports, right? So nothing is given. Nothing is easy, right? And you have to work so hard. And consistency, obviously, is a huge fact. And that's why you see a lot of players, getting emotional, crying, and that's why, pouring champagne, opening bottles of the champagne, and once you win, because it's hard, and you gotta celebrate it at amazing moment.
Hey Zaza, before we let you go, I need a favor. I'm still running full court hoop at the 24-hour fitness. My partner has legs like a starting two guard in the league, but he's retired. Anything you can give me to kind of get him to unretire, so I can get my man back on the court with me?
That's the toughest situation I'll be. How am I gonna talk to the guy who's retired till I'm retired when I'm retired? It's a tough task, guys. Let the man enjoy his retirement.
All right.
Thank you. I don't need a knee brace at my age. Hey, Zaza, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys. See you guys in the next 2 weeks.